Thanks. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good and his mercy endure forever. Welcome to a deeper dive. I'm certainly glad that you all are diving with us tonight. Go ahead and let us know that you are in the room tonight. Good to see you, Sister Vanessa, Sister Pamela Dawkins, Sister O. Good to see you, Sister Nakisha. Good to see you as well. Nakenya Robinson. Good to see you, woman of God. We look forward to being with you on Friday night. We'll talk a little more about that. But listen, I am excited and delighted to have my diving partner with us tonight. Normally is our executive pastor, but listen, tonight we're in for a special treat because we have the Bishop, Lady Austin, who just happens to be my lovely wife, diving with us tonight. How are you doing, woman of God?
Hello, everyone. All is well. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to this dive on tonight. So do us a favor, guys. Like, share, tag. Let's blow this thing all the way up. Tonight, we are in for a treat tonight because this is the Tuesday after Mother's Day, and I am excited to be able to do this. I believe for the third time since we've been doing Deeper Dive, to dive into the Mother's Day message. Let me first of all, let me start off by giving you a pre-post splash for a job well done, as well as a round of applause for Mother's Day. You're absolutely blessed us. You were a blessing to us. Deeper Dive is all about kind of diving into what has been said, but we also like to dive into the thought behind the message. We like to, on Deeper Dive, take people behind the veil as it relates to what goes into crafting or creating a message. And so you blessed us, and we'll talk about the message. But you helped us in our theme. For those of you that are maybe new, the theme for the Zion Church is to expect, expand, and evolve. And so you had the blessed, based upon the way the calendar laid out, you had the first opportunity to give us our first message as it relates to expansion. Go into in with us to tell us what was in your mind. Were you even thinking about the theme when God placed this message on your heart? And tell us a little bit about what God was doing as you were wrestling with the message.
Well, first of all, I think the theme got started during the revival, actually. That kind of got me a little fire ignited in me to kind of stick to the theme. I always try to strive as much as possible to stick to the theme. I'm not a pastor or anything, but I always try to first start with the theme. And if I can relate something to the theme, a feeling or a sense of something to the theme, I go there. And then by being Mother's Day, and I speak on Mother's Day, I try to say, okay, I don't want to make a speech or a message directly dedicated to women because there are men that come. And then Mother's Day is so emotional and it pulls people in so many directions. Some people have their mothers with them, some don't. So I try to connect with something that everybody can resonate with. So coming off that awesome revival that we had, kicking off our second part of the theme of expansion, that kind of led me into something to see. I got to see a lot, and I know you preached about opportunities and the doors being open. And Pastor Gonda and Pastor Brandon, I thought about all the messages and how the people received the messages. And I thought about the way the country, the state of the country, and the state of mind that the country has everyone in right now. You know, we all have goals, we all have things we want to achieve, but the way stuff is being pulled, we're being pulled left and pulled right in different directions. It's so easy to turn on the news and get down and not and people losing their jobs and things like that. So I wanted to give people something that can give them something to pray. It was Paul talking about pressing. That resonated really with me because we got to really press our way through in these times if we want to make it, if we want to see the things that God has promised us. We don't want to look back and turn back on our goals because oh, the president is in office or this is happening all around us. So this scripture resonated with me because the situation that Paul was in, he was in prison, you know. And sometimes prison, like I talked about in the message, prison can be a lonely place, a dark place. And in spite of him being in prison, he didn't let his location stop him from putting out what he wanted to do. He still urged believers to stay focused and not get distracted. You know, he encouraged them to follow Christ as the example. And if we're going to make it in this day and time, there's no greater example than Christ to follow. So we want to, if you're going to commit to anything, we commit to our job so easily. We commit to going places so easily. Why not commit to God? Why not keep your focus on God and commit and press? So everything about this scripture, it really spoke to me. And while you're pressing, you're looking for something. We all think of that in the way that we're looking for something. So let's expand. If you want something, you got to expand. You got to reach for it. Nothing comes to a dreamer but a dream. You know, we've heard those and all these other idioms when we're just like looking for something. Nothing from nothing leads to just nothing. So
Yeah, you spoke to us, and we'll dive into Philippians chapter 3, expanding our reach. And one of the things that you brought up in the message is how this is not the season to perhaps shorten our reach. This is not the season where we think we can't go after something, but to expand our reach literally means, that word expansion, of course, means to go beyond. Go beyond where you think you are. Go beyond where you thought you were. Go beyond what you thought was possible. Don't allow today's political climate or what's happening around us helps us to shorten our reach or settle. This is not a season for settling. This is a season that we continue to go after the things of God, of course, but we go after also the things of our desires. One of the things I love about God is he says if a man ways please him, he'll still gives us the desires of our heart. That scripture never talks about what's happening. It never talks about who's in office. It never talks about the price of gas or the price of crypto or what the stock market. It simply says if a man ways please God,
yes,
he'll give you the desires. So it's our job, if we're pleasing God, we have the word that says we can expand and reach out to whatever we desire because he is able to give us the desires of our heart. And I like that segue because Paul makes it clear, as you pointed out, he says, listen, I don't have it. I'm not telling you that I have achieved everything that I desire, right? He says, I don't mean to say that I've already achieved these things or have I already reached perfection. Perfection in a behavior sense or perfection even as in an accomplishment sense, right? Things don't have to be perfect.
Right.
And even when they're not perfect, that Paul gives us this thing to reach. And he says, but you put an emphasis on that but I press. I want you to talk a little bit about that, but I press. Because those three words right there is life changing, right? I haven't achieved everything, so I'm going to quit. I haven't achieved everything, so I'm going to cry. I haven't achieved everything, so I'm going to stop. Paul doesn't say any of that. Paul says, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up with you. I haven't achieved it. I've been going out there a long time and still don't have it. But I press. Talk a little bit about that pressing, that but mentality that we got to have.
Well, first, I like how the scripture is built up. It gives us Paul mindset. And I tried to build it up to knowing his state of mind based upon his location and where he was. And then we know that he acknowledges that he's not perfect. He's not reaching, and none of us are perfect. There's no perfect situation. There's no perfect. We want to be perfect. We want the perfect wedding. We want the perfect marriage. We want the perfect child. But we know that that doesn't exist. But we know that, and I talk about God's will for our life. We have to know and understand our position and what God's will for our life is, and talk to God and know what God wants from us. And that will help us to understand the direction in which we're going. So we have to use that as a pressing point, because can you imagine in a world if God gave us all we want and we were perfect and we had, God wants us to honor him. We are built to honor God. And can you imagine if we had everything and we didn't have a reason to honor God, what would our state of mind be? You see what Paul's state of mind was at this time. He was in prison. He could have chose to just turn his back and say, man, forget about that. These people, they out there doing, I'm the one in this state of mind. But God, Paul built this text up with his mindset, and it kind of led from there. And that's where it led to the press. He had something to press for because of what he didn't have. At that time, we often look at what we have, and some of us have so many things that we take for granted. And because we take those things for granted, we don't honor God. We don't think. But when we lose those things, God forbid a relative, God forbid a car. I had my coworker today say, man, we down to one car, me and my wife. So I know me and you together. Imagine we was down to one car. When we feel like
She gonna show up be pressing. I'm
when
be
we feel like
depressed. I'm gonna be depressed.
when we feel like we have so much, we forget about the little things, the small things, as simple as honoring God, commitment. I talked about commitment, and all those things. So his situation caused him to see. It caused him to press, because he was already doing that stuff, and he could have just turned around and gave up and been like, you know what, I ain't speaking about this no more. This got me in trouble. Look at all the things they did. He was mobbed and all these other things. That's the attack of the enemy. And when we go and we do stuff, we often get mobbed. It don't happen the way we want it to happen. People talk about it. Some of us get turned around from doing stuff because they talked about us. I also talked about that where it says they. When I talk about they, how they talk about you and they tell you can't do this. We often wonder about the color purple. You'll never be nothing. Well, Mr. Told Seeley and things like that. So that but spirit is what you have to press on and setting those goals and how to move forward with whatever it is that you're desiring to have.
I like the fact that you said that it is the neglect that causes us to press, right? Is when we don't have, because sometimes we could be spoiled, and the spoiledness can make us lazy. It can make us content. it can make us just complacent, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes God snatches things from us, or He doesn't release it because He wants us to reach. He wants us to press, and that lack of is what drives us. Is what motivates us, and we're going to talk about this in a moment because this what Paul says the first thing that you poured out was this state of abandonment, right? It says, but I focus on this one thing to forget those things which are behind. And one things I like that you said is in abandonment. Of course, we know we got to abandon some thoughts. We got to abandon some old ways, right? But one things I liked about in the message was that you even talked about some of the success, right? Because that's important for high achievers. There are achievers and then there are high achievers, right? That's that moving from millionaire to billionaire status, a billionaire to true. Those are high achievers. You got to be a high achievers, right? Because to become a high achiever means that you have to abandon. You got to abandon even your own success, right? Because we see it all the time, especially in sports, when some people make it to the NFL and NBA off of talent, right? Off of their size and strength. That don't mean they're a high achiever. They got there because they genetics, right? They were born. There's only a certain amount of people in the world walking around 6 feet tall, 300 pounds, 7 feet tall. So they get to a point because of just genetics. But sometimes they make it there and they don't make it because they're not high achievers. They forget, yes, I got through high school. Yes, I was great in college. I was good enough to get here. But I got to put all that aside if I'm going to make it here. Because everybody around me was good in college, was good in high school. So I got to forget that. I got to forget those things which are behind me. And I got to keep pressing. I got to keep going. And sometimes that state of that abandonment is something that we wrestle with, either because things are bad or because we settle on our own success.
Well, one of the things you forgot, and a lot of us, we didn't get off of talent. We didn't get off of nothing of our own. Some of us got there off of grandma prayers.
Huh?
And mama and them got us there. Some of us, if we look back, we don't know how we made it. It was nobody but the Lord. It was nobody but mama and them. It was grandma and them prayers that got us through. And so because of grandma and them prayers, that's what allow us to press. I tell I like my kids just took the test this week, and I had to tell them, some of y'all got to remember, you're not doing this for you. Because if some of us would give up. If it was just all about me, sometimes I would give up. So it's
Oh,
resonating from a mother's perspective. I'm sure some mothers can relate. We got kids to feed. We are examples. We are walking and living examples for our kids. We're trying to make ways for our kids and things. And that's where the pressing come in. Some of us got depressed just for that, just so our kids can see. We're not perfect. Yeah, we're not there yet. Paul talked about that. But we need to still be that model for what we want. If we give up and we turn back, where does that leave our kids? Where does that leave us? What explanation do we have? And some of us, when we're stripped, that's when we discover our strength. That's where you get your strength from. When you're stripped, you don't know you could pray till you have to pray. You don't know you can praise till you have to praise. And that's why I kept emphasizing that position of that posture, that posture of praise. Sometimes that's what gets you through. I keep talking about grandma and them. They say when you can't say a word, you know what to do. You just wave your hand. And this is stuff that we have to teach our children. I don't want my children to see me being perfect and being little Miss Patty Cake and Patty Do Good. We need to let our children see some imperfections. But do know and teach them how to expand their reach to get beyond what my mama did. If you a parent with a high school diploma, of course you're gonna want your child to get a college degree. If you a parent with a doctor's degree, you want your child to get two. Whatever you get, you want more for your child. That's just great parenting. Not gentle parenting, that's just great parenting. And sometimes that's our strength. That's where the press come from. Wanting more for those around us than we want for ourselves.
See, when they get grown, they exhausted. Get you. You mean it's more exhaustion than what I already? Lord have mercy.
But you
That's
still
that.
don't stop. They press you. They press you.
But why is it? And chat help us out. Why is abandonment so difficult? Well, you talked about it, and I know as a preacher, right? I tell people all the time, when you preach a word, it's not just for you. And you alluded to this in the message that before it hits you before it hits them. And you alluded to children, right? You alluded to as a mother, how is it difficult to abandon your child? And we don't say abandonment like leave them on the side of the road, but it's like letting them go, releasing them. Why is it so difficult to get into this state of abandonment, whether it's a child, whether it's an old habit, whether it's a set? Why do we try to hold on to the past? What makes that so difficult?
What make it difficult to hold on to what you said again? What make
Just
difficult?
just abandonment. This whole posture of abandonment is not easy. To let
Right,
go of your child, to let your child go. They've been up under your nest,
right.
they've been under your house, and
Because
you gotta let them go.
you don't want to see failure. Nobody wants to see failure. Failure is, they say there's no failure in God. All these sayings. Nobody wants to see failure. And if you don't want to see it in yourself, you look at your child as an expansion or extension of you. And children, they're gonna fail. They're gonna have some failures, but you feel like that's you. Your children, if you are a good parent, you see your children as a reflection of you. So you don't want to see the failure. Like I said, if I went to high school, I want my child to go to college. Whatever it is, you're gonna always want more for your child. Even if you are a spouse, if you're a good spouse, some of us want more for our spouse than we want for ourselves. And we don't recognize that you can't want more for some. They say, oh, you can't want more for somebody than what they, yes, you that don't stop you from feeling that way. It don't stop you from pushing, and using that to propel you forward. So,
That's
yeah,
like me pushing you to be more of a
no,
woman of God. You see
no.
that chat? I want more for her than she want for. That's all she just want to do. Mother's Day. And I wanna push her a little. You see that? I wanna push her a little further. Somebody said comfortability. Someone said unhealed trauma. This abandonment, right? It's you can't let it go. You can't fix what you're not willing to face, right? And we've got to abandon and unhealed trauma is interesting because it's hard to move. Let's just say in a relationship, right, where there's hurt, it's hard to move on to the next person, to a better person, when you don't want to let go of what happened in the past. So then you start seeing unnecessary cycles. You start seeing people the same way. That's why all men's are dogs and all women are this and all, because we haven't abandoned the hurt from the past. We haven't abandoned what the person did to me. So every person, it becomes like the last person. Every failure is like the last failure. Every no, every opportunity is like the last no. And you got to get that stuff out of your mind. I remember hearing coaches when quarterbacks throw an interception, especially if it's a pick six.
Can't
Guess
run that
what?
play back. Can't
They
run it
can't run
back.
it back.
You
But
gotta
if
go to
it's
the
a
next
pick
play.
six, they got to go right back out on the field. And the coach got to say, hey, we're not going to just run the ball the rest of the game. You got to put that interception in your rear view mirror because we're going to need you. You're going to have to
And
throw again.
And sometimes you can want something so bad. I talked about hearing from God, and when you know you've heard from God and God speak to you, and you just like, Lord, you told me this is what's mine. You told me this is what I'm going to receive. So that abandonment make it hard. Like you'll never forsake me or leave me. You know, we hear that all the time. So it's like, if the Lord told me that, why am I in this isolation? It's hard to understand that. What we must understand about abandonment, it is a part of the process. It's something that you got to go through. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, thou art with me. You got to go through it. You can't stop. You can't part it with the good with the bad. You got to take a little bit of everything. We can't pick and choose. You know, they say got to pick and choose your battle. Well, in this thing called life, yeah, that's true to a certain extent. Because when it comes to what God has promised you and what God has told you, you know, you gotta let him work. You gotta walk in his will. And his will is for you to see. And it to see not everything as this golden opportunity and stuff. Sometimes when you lose your way and you think, he gotta remind you. You know, you think I made it. Oh yeah, like you talk about the NFL players. Sometimes you got to take a licking to keep on ticking, and God has to give you a setback, and that setback feels like abandonment in it sometimes. So when you get to that side or to that promise that God promise you, you'll be able to say it was nobody but you, Lord, because we don't want to give all the praise and all the glory to our sister, our husband. God wants to get the glory. So when you do it his way and he put you in a place of abandonment, you have to be in a position where when you come out, you can't do nothing but acknowledge God.
And as we look at this verse helps us because look at what the verse says. It says, forgetting those things, forgetting the past, and looking forward. See, the abandonment happens in the looking forward, which kind of pushes us to your second thought of the movement, right? Because the rearview mirror, you can't be in drive looking in the back mirror.
Right.
I wouldn't suggest you do that. I wouldn't
So they
suggest
made
you.
the backup cam.
Right. I wouldn't suggest you do that. I wouldn't suggest that you be in drive looking out the back window. So Paul gives us this movement, and the movement happens, or the process of the movement happens, because we're looking forward to what lies ahead. And what a lot of people and a lot of churches, especially a lot of churches, and this is pre-COVID, got stuck in the past. What we used to do. We never done it this way. And so many churches and people in the church spend so much time looking back of what they've done until they've never looked ahead to see what they can do. And looking backwards stops progress. It stops movement. There's abandonment, and then as you said, there is movement. The church can't move. You can't move. I can't move. We shouldn't move if we're looking back. Try going to driver's ed and you look in the back, you looking in the back mirror, but you in drive. You see if you're gonna pass that test. You're not gonna pass that test. Because that teacher's gonna say, wait a minute, you cannot move forward and look backwards at the same time. And many of us, that's why we can't move forward. Many of us, we can't move forward, whether it's physically or mentally, because we're not forgetting the things of the past and we're not looking ahead. Looking ahead forces you to forget what's in the past.
Right. You can't carry dead weight saying you want something new, expecting something new. It's dead for a reason. You gotta let the dead be dead. You gotta leave it there. You can't take it with you. You can't. You either want to be stuck or you want out. You can't have it both ways.
Just stuck in the past, stuck in neutral, right? You know, just stuck there. And the lack of abandonment will absolutely affect our movement. An unwillingness to abandon will absolutely affect our movement.
Right.
You got to. And you talked about in a marriage. You listen. We've been married. What is it? 20 some odd years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a lot of disagreements. Had a lot of whatever you want to call them. Man, you probably gonna have multiple of those in one day. You got to forget that. You got to shake that off. You can't hold on to everything. Because if you try to hold on to everything, you're not gonna move forward. You repeated this term quite often in your message. Let it go. Let it
Yeah.
go. Let it
Yeah.
go. Let it go. Let it go. If you've been married to somebody a long time, I see Sir Jones on here, Stevens on here. These are people that have been married 30, 40 years. You gotta master the art of letting it go, man.
Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
Cause you gotta move forward.
Yep. And part of understanding when to move forward, you have to know your situation. And if you know what you want and what you're looking for and what God is calling for you to do, you have to understand if I'm struggling right now and I'm stuck and I know this not my final destination, I can't let this struggle be the reason I don't reach my final destination. So that alone is enough to say I gotta keep pushing. I gotta keep moving. Or I gotta keep pressing because God has greater for me. I can't get the greater if I'm just right here. I gotta know that this situation I'm struggling in, especially if it's something that you don't struggled in before and you're sitting there wondering, why does this keep happening to me? Well, you got to make up in your mind that it's time for me to make a move. If I don't want to be stuck, I got to move. You know, if you're stuck in a pit or something, you got to make a move. You can't get out of it. You got to reach for some help, reach for something, a tow truck, whatever it is. You're not just going to sit there and say, well, Lord, here I am. This is where I am. I'm just stuck. You got to find a way to make that move.
Yeah,
That's
and
what.
sometimes, as you said, that movement, it could be a subtle movement. It may not be, the saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, right? And sometimes we don't move because we don't think we can make all the movements. But if you're gonna go 1,000 miles, you're not gonna go anywhere until you make that first step.
Right. Nope.
And so often that's what prohibits movement because we can't see. I believe it's MLK that says faith is the ability to walk without seeing the entire staircase. And so often we don't move because of lack of faith. We can't see all of it. So as someone said earlier, we are comfortable with where we are. And because we're so comfortable, we don't move. And we don't move, especially when we're in unfamiliar territory. I said this to our lunchtime in the Lord. It's interesting how we look at movement. I said, if you were in your home and the lights went out, you'll start trying to feel your way through. You're at your house, right? But if you're in a strange place and the lights go out, you're going to stand still. So I said it's not the darkness that causes us not to move. It's where we are that causes us not to move. And sometimes
Right. Okay.
God says it's going to get dark, but even if you're in a place that's unfamiliar to you, that's where you got to use faith. Because if we're honest, we only really move in familiarity.
Right. Right. Right.
Oh, it's easy to move around because I know where I'm going. I know where but sometimes life will turn the lights off on you.
Mm.
But you still required to move if not, you're gonna stay stuck.
Mm. Life will throw you that curveball.
That curveball. That curveball. So it's really not the dark we're afraid of. It's unfamiliar territory that we're afraid of.
Mm-mm.
Cause we done been in our house where the lights got cut off, or a storm, hurricane, lights off. We just moving about. We ain't gonna do that if we don't know where we're going.
Right, right, right.
And but life happens, and you could be out there, but we gotta put away that fear, and we gotta keep going. We gotta keep expanding our reach, even if we're in unfamiliar territory,
Right.
because unfamiliar territory is where our faith kick in.
And I said one of the reasons why we stay stuck, because the pride, the
Ugh.
shame, all these things that keep us stuck. It keep us in the place of not really complacency, but it's just that it becomes so familiar to us, the shame, and you don't want that pride of not wanting somebody to see you this way and know this about me. That pride will hurt. Some of us
Oh
stuck.
yeah, I mean, but
It's
you could be
some of us
stuck in
stuck
that
in that
place of
pride.
pride too. I mean, you let pride keep you stuck. You still stuck. You might as well try to get out of it.
But we don't recognize we stuck because we so shameful about something we did, a decision we made a long time ago, and we don't want this person to know. Social media took away all of that, not want somebody to know something a long time ago. That was another thing from the difference between the generations and things like that. We get so stuck, oh, she in my business and things like that. Well, she in your business, but she going on about her business and you sitting here stuck worrying about her and she don't going about her business. People often stay in that pride and that shameful place because they don't want people to see or know. Meanwhile, they going through the same thing you go through. The Lord really want to use your darkness, your dark place as a testimony for somebody else. And perhaps if you come on out of that pride or that shame, you not only gonna help yourself, you gonna help the person you trying to keep something from, plus somebody else. But all you gotta do is just come out of being stuck. Come out of that shame, come out of that pride, and be a light to somebody else.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. How even your past failures and your past faults and failures, in church, right? We because we failed, or people know we failed, or we falling.
Hmm.
We don't move. We don't move. We don't move back to where we were, or we don't move at all. We'll just stay in church and sit in the back of the church, and woe is me. Oh, I can't do this because they're gonna. You got to forget that, man. If God is, if God can't, somebody put this in the chat. If God can forgive, we can forget. If God can forgive,
Yeah,
then we can forget.
yeah,
We have to know that we serve a forgiving God.
yeah.
So as you said, Paul makes it clear he's not perfect. We know that Paul used to be Saul.
Hmm.
But if God can forgive, why can't we forget? We have to be able to forget, because the forgetting is necessary for the movement. Abandonment, you said, forgetting the things which are behind.
And sometimes God want to keep you in that dark place just so He can expand your faith. So
Mm,
he can let you know that I can do what I said I promised I can do. But you just got to sit on this for a little while and let me show you. They say watch God work. We often say we want to watch God work. Well, if that we speak that, we have to be believers of that. So sometimes that's why we sitting in that dark place. Because God want to show you I am who I said I am. And I'm gonna do
yeah,
what I said I'm gonna do. And sometimes we just got to sit there in that place that He has us in until it's time for Him to open those doors for us and move when He want us to. We open the door too soon, we might not get what we thought was on the other side. So sitting in that dark place is where you can allow God to do His best work on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I like this. I like this translation for this point that you gave, point number 3. You use the New Living Translation. I love this translation because of your point number 3, which was commitment. Because Paul says, I press on to reach the end of the race, right? He doesn't say, I press to start the race. He says, I press to end the race. So to end the race, it doesn't take a lot of effort to start the race. It takes commitment to end the race.
Because everybody don't want to see you finish.
Oh, but not only that, oh God, this is good. We know this because we have a track. We could say star, right? He is a star. He's got a lot of gold medals in his house. I can start his race. You can start his race. I ain't gonna be able to finish his race. Not in his time. I may can finish it. It might take me a little bit, but you know why he can finish and I can't? Because he commits himself to going to track practice every day.
Stamina, endurance, all of that.
The commitment, the stamina is connected to the commitment. And he has to be committed to it. He's got to be committed to everything about him being a long distance runner. And you and I know, because we drill this in him all the time, it's not just about practice. It's about his diet. It's about his intake of water. You got to be committed to all those things if you want to get to that gold medal, if you want to end that race. See, everybody, we love to celebrate the starts, but anybody can start. What most people lack is the commitment. Anybody can get married. Anybody can have a wedding.
And that's why the saying says it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish.
Everybody don't make it to the finish.
Most people lack commitment.
Because it takes discipline.
It takes discipline. Most people lack commitment in relationships.
Yeah. And
They just lack commitment.
And watch this. We talk about this too because he's a long distance runner. You got to know when to move. And that's what commitment help you with, and that all of that. You got to know when to move. Some people move at the wrong time, and it can detour your whole race if you don't move and shift at the right and appointed time. It could detour your whole race.
Yeah, man. Most successful things takes, somebody put this in the chat, commitment and consistency. Those are the two critical things when you're running this race of life. Commitment and consistency. You know, hey, I've been pastoring Zion for 15 years. There have been some great years. There have been years that have been better than others. But we've made it 15 years because of commitment and consistency. I keep showing up. If nobody got saved this week, you got to come back next week. If the offering wasn't great this week, got to come back next week. If the service wasn't on fire, got to come back next week. It happens through commitment and consistency.
Right.
To reach the end of the race, the end of something. Most people just lack the commitment. Most marriages just don't dissolve. It generally dissolves because one or both parties lack the commitment that it takes to each other. That word commitment is a powerful word.
Right. And I guess I got a question for you because you talk about it take commitment to each other. Why do you think that we commit to some of the most wildest things so easily? But stuff like commitment to God, commitment to the things that benefit us most. Why do you think it takes so much for us to commit to that? You know, I'm just throwing that out there.
Options. We feel we got options.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to relationship.
Right.
Oh, when you feel like somebody else is looking at you, or you feel like somebody else winking at you, or somebody else, got they scent, you feel like you got options. And even with God, sometimes we feel like, for us, right? For us, I say you and I, many people in our generation, going to church was not an option. We didn't have another option.
Right.
We didn't have another option. It wasn't what else we gonna do on Sunday. This is what we do on Sunday. Me and you were talking about, right? Yeah. Me and you were talking about. They talking about this one service. Me and you were talking about how in our day we went to night service.
Yep.
The first Sunday we went it was at New Shiloh. It was 7:30, 11, and on first Sunday it was 5 p.m. service.
Yeah.
And it wasn't no
school in between.
Sunday school in between, and we centered our whole break around getting back.
Right.
Man, we can't eat. Well, we can't eat this heavy. We got to go back to 5 o'clock service. We can't sleep. We ain't even have alarms like we got now on our phone. You don't hardly want to sleep because you got to go back, because not going back wasn't even an option. You was going back to 5 o'clock service.
Right.
But now it's like it's so many options. Mm-hmm. And options sometimes brings about a lack of commitment.
Right.
When you feel like there's a plan B. Mm-hmm. But when as you said about work, like, man, I got to stay committed to this because I got to pay my bills. Mm-hmm. It toughens your skin. Be like, I ain't got the option to just not come to work. I ain't got that option.
You got too many mouths to feed.
But for some people who have that option, oh man, anything set them off. They quit every day.
Oh yeah, we got some.
But when you don't have an option, when it's just you and you, listen. So I think that commitment is sometimes connected to what we feel like we got an option. But man, when it comes to God, we got to realize, man, I don't have no other option. It's God or nothing. Yeah. It's God or nothing. If God doesn't do this, it won't get done. I don't have a plan B. I got to put all my eggs in the good Lord's basket. Lord. Nobody but you. And that somebody say too many options leads to confusion and analysis of paralysis. You are absolutely right.
Wow.
Too confused. Listen, I ain't got no other option. Listen. You talk about me, call me. I don't have no. I'm a stick with the one I got. I don't have another option. I don't have. If Kim gets mad at me, I don't go leaving here to go run. I got to stay here because I ain't going nowhere. I ain't got nowhere to go.
Not having no option. That's how we get out of that dark place. That's
how we abandon it. Listen, man, she made me mad. Man, I gotta let that go because I ain't where I'm going.
Yeah.
But if I feel like I got somewhere to go, I'm gonna be like, bump you. I'm gonna go over here to sis house and let feel happy over there.
Nope. I'ma pray because I'm right here and it's so dark I can't do nothing but pray. I can't turn. I turn to the left, darkness. I turn to the right, darkness. Only way I'm gonna get out of this is by prayer. So that dark place helps us to know, and we don't have no options. That's it. That's all.
And it's funny you said that thing because I look at this scripture in Psalms 27:4. And look at what David says. There's one thing that I desire. See, we got to commit ourselves. See, a lot of us, we overcommit in a lot of sense, right? You overcommit, ever overcommitted to something. And so when you overcommit, you don't have full commitment because you overcommitted. You overextended yourself. David says there's one thing that I desire, and that's what I'm going to seek after. That's what I'm going to be committed to. That one thing. So if Kim is my wife, that's my one thing that I'm going to be committed to. I've got to be committed to that because I only have that one thing. Some of us, we got too many things in front of us. So we're spreading our commitment and we become fatigued because we're spread it too thin. So we got to lock in on something.
Lock in.
We got to lock in on something. That this is what I'm going to be committed to. Because when you understand, I heard athletes say this, I think it was Shannon Sharp the other day. He said, listen, we were poor. I ain't have no other option. If I didn't make it to the NFL, my family was never going to get out of poverty. He said, I didn't have another option.
Right.
I was my family's only option.
Wow.
And that's what drove him, he said. That's what drove him all the way to the Hall of Fame, coming from an HBCU like Savannah State. Because he was the only option for his family.
But if I'm out of options, I'd rather God be it for me. If I had to have my way and be out of options, I'd rather that be it. That's it.
Yeah, Velma, she talked about her flea market days. She had to press. But watch this with Velma. At some point, she had to even abandon that, right?
Right.
And move toward, and she had to expand her reach. Now she a big time educator.
Big time.
Right. You stay committed to that one thing, and it's fine. Yeah. But sometimes, as you said, gotta start shifting you.
Shift. Gotta move.
That's what that shift came. That's that brook dried up. God closed that door. You stay committed to whatever God has for you until God shifts you. Yeah, that doesn't mean you got to be there forever, but you stay committed to that until God opens another door.
That's when he say, hold on to the progress we've already made.
Yeah.
Hold on to that progress. Yeah, don't forget.
I tell Zion, I tell Zion this, and I don't say it out of arrogance. I say it just because I mean it. Zion is not my church, it's God's church. One day, I don't know when it's going to be. One day, God is going to say, it is time for Zion to have another leader. That might be through my death. That might be through my retirement. That might be through my own personal elevation. I don't know which option God's going to choose. But guess what? God's the only reason I'm at Zion. It's God and Kimberly Austin. Right? So, since I don't have a choice, committed to Zion until God says otherwise.
Right.
That's it. So I'm going to preach every sermon. I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to do everything full throttle. Because I don't have another option. I'm going to stay totally committed until God says it's time for a shift. How does that shift come? I don't know. It's not up to me. The only thing is up to me is for me to be committed to it. Give it my all. Because the moment I don't give it my all, I'm cheating on God.
Wow. And that's when he say, let all who are spiritually mature agree on these things. And if you disagree, he'll make it plain. Which means he'll make it plain when you need to shift. Well, through your commitment and through everything you do, he'll make it plain. That goes to Velma. He made it plain for her what he wanted her to do. That wasn't her permanent space wasn't to be in that flea market. Her permanent space wasn't to be doing hair. He shifted some stuff. He took her from that dark place and moved her, used that to move her to get her where he wanted her to be. So we able to speak about her right now, going after her master's degree and all of these things that she probably didn't see when she was sitting in that dark place. But because of the maturity, the spiritual maturity, the trust, and the way she agreed and stood there with God until he was able to make it plain to her what he had for her and what he wanted her to do. And that's what we got to do as believers, whatever our goal is, whatever we're trying to achieve. We got to commit to it and stay in those places that God have us. And every now and then put up our posture of praise and praise Him for our dark place, praise Him for our good days, praise Him for our bad days, and just grow with God and stay with God. And when it's that due season, we'll reap what we sow.
Yeah, somebody just put that in the chat. Make it plain, Lord. Make it plain. Don't let it be no guessing. Don't let it be no ambiguity. Make it plain. Make it crystal clear. Whatever your plan, your will, your desire for me, God, my only prayer is that you make it plain. Because if you make it plain, it really doesn't matter what people think.
That's that spiritual growth.
Yeah. Spiritual growth means when you know God said it's time to move, it really don't matter what people think.
No matter.
God has made it abundantly clear that it's time to move. It's time to go. It's time to shift.
About that pride, that shame,
You know,
what you look like.
Yeah, and the Bible says even if you disagree,
Yeah.
God will make it plain. Even if you don't want to go, even if you don't want to lead a flea market, I like it here. I'm comfortable here. Even if you want to leave that job, I just like it here. I thought I was going to retire here. God will make it plain. He will crystallize his plan for your life.
Yes, He will.
And if you decide that you want to kick against God, God will ruffle your feather. God will shake it up.
That plan. Yes, He will.
God will trouble your waters to the point where you're going to have to come into agreement with the plan and the will of God is for your life. And I like the fact that you close it out with achievement. Because I believe it just flows. With abandonment, you get over your abandonment to movement. Once you start movement, you there's a level of commitment. And hey, when you have a high level of commitment, guess what? You can't help but have a high level of achievement.
Right.
The commitment it brings on. And you know, we often tell our child, you know, and I'm using him because this is kind of a track analogy type of sermon. We say, man, every time he gets one of those medals, we tell him, this is why you work hard. You got to think a lot of things about, you know, our son, and we say this. Number one, he's running up. There's hardly ever a race where they're not kids 1 year or sometimes, most times, 2 years older than he is. So he's 11 running with 12 and 13 year olds every race. But there are very few races that we leave that track without him getting a medal. You only get medals for first, second, third place. So this little skinny young kid, no matter what race he runs, he leaves with a medal. And that's only through commitment.
And
pressing. And he gets that level of achievement. That's what we all desire. That commitment is going to pay off.
Now that Lifetime Achievement Award.
It's going to pay off. You sing an old song, payday coming after a while.
Put your time in.
Put your time in. Got to put your time in. You got to put it. We all, you know, out Zion. We stay committed to the plan and will of God. We're going to achieve things. We have achieved things only because of a level of commitment. You got to stay committed to your stewardship. You know, again, we grew up. We committed. We're committed givers. We're committed tither. We're committed to it. It's not based upon income. It's not based upon gas prices. It's not based upon economy. Wow. This is what we do. We committed to it.
That's it. That's all.
So everything that we achieve as a family, as an individual, is because we're committed. Now, people get mad at your achievements because they don't see your commitment.
Right, right.
People don't understand them. They misinterpret them. But this level of achievement only happens through commitment. And that's what he says. He says it, and you know, he really says it in verse 13, verse 14, where he says, you know, reaching that prize to receive, as you said, that Lifetime Achievement Award, The heavenly prize for which God through Jesus Christ is calling us to.
And people get mad because they see your achievement, but they don't see you neither when you in that dark place. We talked about being alone. They don't see
Yeah,
you then neither.
they don't
So,
see it.
hey, some stuff ain't meant to be seen. That's why you
Yeah,
can't worry about that pride and that shame and all that stuff. You got to
yeah.
walk on God's will, walk in His will. Whatever His will is, walk in it.
Whatever your goal is in life, if it's not worth staying committed to it, it's not worth achieving it.
Wow. Let me hit the splash.
Yeah, yeah. If it's not worth committing to it, it's not worth achieving. Can you take an easy way out? Yeah. I'm committed to health. I said to the church, and I said it publicly for a reason. I am committed to being the healthiest I could be for myself, for my ministry, for my church, and my family. But it takes a level of commitment. I got to stick with it. So when my wife asks me in the morning, how many miles did you walk today? How many miles did you ride today? I got to be able to tell her answer. That's my level of commitment. I can't just say I want it and pray for, oh Lord, bless my health, bless
Right.
my weight, bless, oh Lord. I can, but I got to stay committed to it.
Yeah. And you owe it to yourself to do that.
Owe
You
it,
owe it
you
to
owe it
yourself
to
to press.
yourself to
That's what make you
stay.
press. What you owe it to
Yes,
yourself. Yeah.
yes, yes.
You
I
owe
owe it
it
to
to the people.
myself.
We
I
talked
owe it
about
to
that.
myself. I owe it to myself. You may be in a situation where you owe people. Oh, this is good. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You may be in a position where we owe people. You may owe a business. You may owe a bill, credit card. You should never owe yourself.
Wow.
Don't owe yourself. Oh yeah, we gonna always owe people. His bills coming to this house every day. Come to your house. Who else listening to this? It's coming. You gonna always owe people. Who I never want to owe is myself. So you owe it to yourself to start the business. You owe it to yourself to go back to school. You owe it to yourself to be everything you could possibly be. You owe it to yourself to be the best parent, to be the best husband, to be the best child of God. You owe that to yourself. Forget about everybody else. We get so busy, we will struggle to pay other people and not pay ourselves. Yeah, you gotta do this. You gotta do this for yourself. Some
Yeah.
things you gotta do for yourself.
Yeah.
Not because the doctor said it, not because your spouse said it, not you owe it to yourself.
Yeah. Even when stuff collapsing around you, owe it to yourself to keep
Yeah,
pressing.
yeah.
Yep.
Because you could lie to the doctor. You could lie to everybody else. Can't lie to yourself. So if I make sure I make myself good, and everything connected to me is gonna automatically be good.
Gonna come together.
It's gonna come together. All things work together for the good. I thank God for that revelation, and I pray that that revelation helps somebody who is watching this right now. Expand your reach. You owe it to yourself.
Even in darkest times.
You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. You don't know any. Yeah, other people can motivate you. That's fine, but you owe it to yourself. So, Brother Sidney, you owe it to yourself to not only start this business, to achieve it, to knock it out the park. You owe that to yourself.
Yeah. I pray that that statement right there gets somebody out of depression. Because that's what darkness leads. So that statement alone, owe it to yourself, pay yourself. I hope that my prayer is that that's the statement that moves somebody from depression to a shift into another direction, away from it. You owe it to yourself.
Yeah, yeah, because that's a debt you need to pay. I had student debt. You know how much I celebrated when my boy Biden sent that letter, boy, I ain't owe him no more. Boy, whoa, debt cancellation.
Oh God.
I don't. I owe them, and they told me I don't owe them no more. I was so happy. But there's some things you owe yourself.
Amen. Yeah.
Don't write yourself a debt cancellation letter. No, pay it off. You owe it. You owe it to yourself. That vision board was a bill. That those thoughts, those ideas, that was a bill. You gotta pay those bills off. You owe it to yourself. That's what you owe yourself. To finish school. I'm going back to school. I told my wife the other day, I'm going back to school. I owe it to myself to go back. I'm gonna go back. I've already started the process. I'm gonna go back. I owe it to myself to do it. Somebody had spoke to my mom about. Somebody spoke to your mom about. And at some point, I made up my mind. I owe it to myself to do it. Well, I'm gonna let. It's not like I don't have this brain. It's not like I don't have the ability. It's not like I don't have the experience. I just gotta. Paper means something, right? So I owe it to myself to do it. Why not? If I would have did it when you or other people, I would have been finished by now. But I owe it to myself to do it. So it's going to get done.
And sometimes when you make up in your mind and do something that you owe yourself, you look back and you almost want to kick yourself because you be like,
right.
Hey, that wasn't even that bad. Look what I missed out on. Look what I could have been did.
Yeah.
How much time you waste trying to avoid it when you
right.
just moved in that direction in the first place.
Right. So I'm going to get my MDiv. Now when your boy get his master's, hey,
be slim with it. Woo.
Hey, I'm gonna be slim. See, I'm checking out. I'm gonna be slim with my masters. Slim master, Slim Master A is what you're gonna call me.
You owe it to yourself.
I owe it to myself. We gotta go because now this is gonna be the Austin version of Diva Diva. Y'all don't want that. Call me Slim Master A. That's right.
Not shady, slim.
I want a medium gown. I want a medium gown. I don't want no extra large gown. I want a medium cap and gown. That's right. I'm going to master it. I went to Nick's graduation, and that was even more motivating. I was like, man, this the kid that I made get right, and he got his master's. That boy didn't want to do nothing.
You got your seamstress right there, Sister Thelma. All your seamstress, they gonna stitch you right up, guys, to get you right.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, listen. So we have to, and it's so healthy that we put things out there because we get to motivate each other. And that's what I love about community. I love that we have community and we lift each other up. We help each other expand our reach. That's what it's about. It's about me expanding my reach. Yeah, I could say, oh man, I'm pastoring. I got this and I got that. But I got to abandon that.
Right.
I don't know what. Right. I don't know what door that could open for me. It may open up another opportunity to teach somewhere, to just the paper alone. Now I got the brain and the paper to match. Oh man, so many doors of opportunity can open. I mean, a lot of doors are already open, but more doors that I didn't even know was out there can open. When I start moving, stay committed to it so that I can achieve it. Listen,
you got it started preaching about those doors. Let's start it.
Well, I guess that's what the Lord had. Doors of opportunities are open. I've already submitted. I've already ordered my transcript. August, I'm going to be in school. So y'all pray for me. I'm telling the college ministry now. I want to be whatever y'all do for them college kids. I want in on it. I need my snacks. Whatever y'all do.
You can't be trying to lose no weight till you need your snacks. Come on.
You're right. 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 I gotta change.
It's
I
time
gotta.
to
You're
do it.
right. You're
We're
right.
doing too much
So,
right now.
but listen, guys. I pray that this deeper dive again, First Lady. Thank you so much for your yearly contribution to the Zion Church, and let's be in prayer. All you all know this Saturday, we lay a dear jewel of our ministry to rest, in the
Queen.
personality of Sister Queen Dickens, man. Just so, oh God, just a wonderful lady of the Lord, and we're gonna miss her soul. She just, I mean, what can you say about Queen? She's one of my originals. Someone that was there when I got to Zion, and she's served faithful, as they say, faithful unto death. And we celebrate her life this Saturday, so I don't have to beg and pump and prime you guys. We're going to show up in major numbers at the Zion Church on this coming Saturday. But then Friday, God has blessed Sister Kenya Robinson. There's just so many great things in our community. Every quarter she has something that's free to the entire community, food, giveaways, all of those things. And she's asked me to come to be a speaker this coming Friday, and I've consented to do that. And I'm looking forward to being with the great people of Pompano Beach, Florida. That's going to be this Friday at 7 o'clock. This Friday at 700 MOK Boulevard. Of course, that's right down the street from our church. Between Snappers and that empty field that's right there. That's where we're going to be. Come, is outdoors, street ministry, real street ministry. This is part of, we committed to our church to serve Saturday. We're serving on Friday. We're going to serve the great people. It's going to be people that need our help, need prayer, need the word. And so we're going to be there this Friday. We got singers and all those good things. Our tenor be there. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. Then on Sunday, God was going to bless me to have a word, I guess,
Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them back.
this Sunday. Thing I want to talk about, I got to get my mind right. I got to expand my thinking. We got to expand the way we think. As a man thinking in his heart, so is he. So I look forward to this weekend. Thank you guys so much. We'll be in lunchtime in the Lord on tomorrow. So we look forward to that. Until we meet again, may God continue to bless you. Go ahead.
I want to thank all those that poured into me for Mother's Day and received the word and poured into me through your monetary gifts, your other gifts, anything that was
Wait, you
poured
said money? Monetary? You said what?
anything that was poured into me. I pray that God will return it to you tenfold to all of those. And I want to encourage our women. It's not over. This is our month. We honored our very own Dr. Jazz this past week. There are more women that we're looking forward to honoring. Upcoming fourth Sunday, we want your face in the place. We're gonna have a special guest for our women, our color wars. Please look forward, stay vigilant to all of these things that are coming up. We want to celebrate. Mother's Day is gone. We celebrated our mothers, but we still want to celebrate women, mothers, all of the above.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Father's Day was coming, but you
It's
still on the
coming.
women.
Absolutely.
You're still on the women. Where will parking be, the King? I think it'll be parking right there in that general area, so we won't have to go far. There'll be parking right there in the field. It's a big old field. It's open for everybody, so just come on out. You're not going to miss it. It's going to be tents there. There's going to be crowds of people there. We're excited to bring the word as we hit the streets. Parking lot and field will be open. Okay. So God bless you guys. We love you. We will see you next time on a deeper dive. And whatever you do, don't forget to expand your reach. Be blessed.